Thank you, gentlemen. Gentleman from Maryland, Mr. Hoare is recognized for questions.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. First, let me say I think we have two thoughtful members of the Congress of the United States presenting these proposals. Senator Lankford has represented that in the House and now represents it in the Senate. And as I've told Mr. McClintock, I always enjoy hearing him speak because I think he speaks truth and with good analysis. However, I disagree with both of you strongly. But Mr. McClintock, Congressman McClintock, you just said what I think is the real issue, and you said that no legislation or rule can replace political will.
Correct.
Let me speak just a little bit about political will. Ronald Reagan, as Jim Lankford just pointed out, was president for 8 years. Bush was president for 4 thereafter. We had 12 years. We essentially had 8 days of shutdown, or 12 days, 8 years of Reagan, 1.5 day average shutdown. Why? Because the political will of the president and the political will of the Congress was to reach agreement. That does not now exist.
Think about it. 12 years combined under Reagan and Bush, and the average shutdown lasted just a day and a half. So why are we now dealing with shutdowns that drag on for weeks? The answer is simple, but it's not comfortable.
Has made it clear, we want their funding to be shut down. That's a quote of Mr. Boats.
That's not a slip of the tongue. Coming from a budget director, this admission suggests the shutdown isn't an accident anymore. It's a deliberate strategy. And that's where things start to get really interesting.
Mr. Boats. Mr. Trump said we had 2 shutdowns, excuse me, this was Mr. Gingrich, 2 shutdowns in 1995 and became the first re-elected GOP majority since 1928. Speaker Gingrich pointing out that that was a successful effort. Mr. McCarthy said, nobody wins in a government shutdown. Nobody wins in a government shutdown. I've been here. He said that on September 14th, 2023. He believes partially he was removed for facilitating agreement between the two parties rather than a partisan shutdown and confrontation.
And here's where the story takes a turn. Did a Speaker of the House actually lose his seat for trying to broker a compromise? This claim exposes just how fragile the balance of power in Washington really is.
I believe these proposals do exactly the opposite of what we need to do, in the sense I think they weaken greatly the Congress and strengthen even more than has happened to date the presidency, making the executive extraordinarily powerful and the Congress much weaker. Essentially, it makes the Appropriations Committee irrelevant and powerless to carry out the founders' intent to give paramount and exclusive authority to the Congress for the spending of taxpayer money. Furthermore, I think that shutting the government down has been a tool of political choice by many Republican leaders, including Newt Gingrich, Donald Trump, and many others, including Vogt. And it is a tool which has been employed by Democrats as well. So no one has clean hands, if you will, on this issue. But let me refer to the director of OMB. Director Young, when Congress provides only broad, outdated funding through CRs, who makes the operational decisions about what is delayed, reduced, or prioritized?
That is typically some combination of the agencies and the Office of Management and Budget, and probably some insight from the White House if it is consequential enough.
So in fact, what a shutdown does, by the failure of the political will of which Congressman McClintock talked about, it enhances greatly the authority and ability of the President of the United States and through OMB and through his agencies to set policies for those agencies.
Yes, during a shutdown, Each agency has to tell the American people what is open, what is closed, and as we all know, that is different even within the same administration. One year it could be this is, and it was politically tough, and they changed their shutdown plans to something else. So there is a lot of latitude for the president to make those decisions.
Let me say to Senator Lanker, I represent approximately 77,000 federal employees. I feel their pain. I know their pain. And obviously, that pain visited on not only government employees but on others as well is reflected in how many people are looking for a solution. But I really say that as we did under Ronald Reagan, I was here all 8 years he was president, and George Bush, we rarely shut down the government. Under Joe Biden, with a Republican Congress, we didn't shut down the government at all, not once, because we reached agreement. And political will, I suggest again, Congressman, is in fact the answer. Not weakening the Congress of the United States, not saying somebody else will get government going. The incentive for the administration to undermine agreement is heightened by, I think, these proposals. Although I would like to see the Senate, I'm one of those that thinks the Senate needs to reform itself so that it can do its business. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.